Hello, and welcome to the LifeWorks Spiritual Network Facebook community weekly live. I'm Reverend Jennifer McSween, international best-selling author of the book True Forgiveness, The Proven Path from Pain to Power in 5 Simple Steps, the Miracles Mindset Strategist and True Forgiveness Coach, and founder of this Facebook group or community. For those of you who have been in this group before, you will know that the name has recently been changed. And the reason I've done so is to make it more inclusive, to really create a platform for spiritually oriented individuals like yourself who are here and others who might be looking for something like this, where they can connect and network with each other, ask and get their questions answered about, their spiritual path, their spiritual beliefs, share about our journey, build relationships, supporting each other along this spiritual path. And so I welcome you to the first weekly live, and this is going to be the weekly time. Prior to this, it was usually at 2 o'clock. From now on, it's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And today will be the first time I'll be having a guest on the live show. And I'm so thrilled and excited to be sharing with you my friend, someone who has become a friend of mine, Carl Powell. And let me share with you who Carl is and what he's about. And you'll see how fitting it is that I opened this series of weekly interviews in this new group with him. Carl is an award-winning speaker and author of 3 books on healing. His work in wellness was featured in Men's Fitness, Network Wellness, and Ebony magazines. He has also appeared in numerous local and national television shows, sharing his knowledge of fitness and motivation, and more than 40 years training. He has more than 40 years training, motivating and entertaining people all over the world. He specializes in 50 plus clients who are ready to grow and improve their overall health. And I like the way he puts it, mindfully moving them to become more physically fit for life. Today, he's going to be talking to us about his GROW program for improving overall health. So welcome, Carl. And let me ask you.
Aloha from Maui.
Aloha from Maui. That's right. You live in paradise. Carl lives in Maui. Okay. What is the one problem that you think or that you know with which you can help people most, or for which people come to you most?
I'll tell you the way that people approach me the most. If someone meets me and they say, "Hi, this is Carl, he's my yoga instructor," the person will tell me immediately, "I'm not flexible." And I say to them, "You know what? You're not, because you said so." And flexibility doesn't start in the body, it starts in the mind. And so most people are stuck in their mind believing that they're not flexible enough, good enough, strong enough to get better.
Wow. True. Wow. So is this the basis of your GROW program? Is this one of the first things you would say that you work with people with?
I think what I've learned with people is people first need to know that they're safe. Safety, and especially when you're peeling off all of the layers, because when you start to move, it's not just hands up and down, it's layers of armor that you've built up to protect yourself. And so what I do with people first is just get them into this moment, not thinking about what's going to happen in the future, not dwelling on what happened yesterday, but realizing that this is the moment that we have. And in this moment, this is your moment. You have to unpeel all of those layers and get to the core of your being in order to start healing.
Wow. That is so true. Being present is the first step. Anything being fully present. Wow. So tell us a little bit more about your Grow program. What are the details? What is it about?
Mm. The Grow program is something that I have grown into. I've been in exercise for 40 plus years, and I always thought in the beginning that exercise was something that was external. So I was always working externally to build and develop and thinking that I was growing,
Yes.
but I was only building up actually armor to protect myself that was actually preventing me from growing.
Mm,
And in youth, you do that. In youth, you need that armor because youth is hard. You have a lot of hard lessons, love, life, career. So you build up all of that armor around you to protect yourself. When it
yes.
comes time for healing, you've got to start to peel those back because that's where your true self is. That's where your true being is, and that's where your true intention is. And so I always start with people, what is your intention? And if you say my intention is to lose 10 pounds, that's very vague. Uh, my intention is to feel as good as I can in my body so that I can move through the world freely and express myself freely is a much better answer.
Right. That's true.
But most people think because a lot of the weight that you carry with you is weight that's in your head. So when you start to drop that weight in your head, the weight in your body will drop off. Most people hold on to all that stuff and think, okay, I'm going to hold on to all of this weight, try to carry it with me and heal at the same time. But you got to put the weight down. Say, this is this moment. This is where I am in this moment. And that's what I love about Qigong exercises. It is the art of pausing, breathing, and being in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, so when I was started in my career, like I said, I was doing aerobics and weight training, and that's all wonderful. It's good. It's important for people to do, but I never dealt with the root of what people were really trying to achieve. And that's why in my logo, roots are into the ground. Because
Mm,
once we start from the root, then that's when growth starts to really happen. So
yes.
we've got to deal with those roots. And that's what I love dealing with people that way. I love working with people that way. It's a joy to see people connect their mind, body, and spirit together and go, oh, wow, this is what it feels when everything is moving at once, not just moving my body, not just reading a book and reading my mind, not going to church or to some spiritual experience so that I can exercise my spirituality, but to bring
Right.
it all into one. This is what I love. This is what I believe. I'm doing the best I can for my body, my mind, my spirit. And when that all comes together, you're growing. So that's where
Wow.
grow comes from.
That is so well said, and so succinct, and it's so there's a congruity. What is the word? I'm losing my words, but there's a consistency. It's all in
Mm,
alignment. And what I like about it, it sounds very similar to my approach, is that I do believe that everything happens in the mind. Everything
yeah.
starts in the mind, because
Mm,
our first um approach is always to change the outside, to change something out here. And that's fine. There are times when you need to change circumstances and the physical aspects of your life. But where the real change needs to take place is in the mind. Because if that doesn't change, nothing changes. And
mm,
that's how you bridge that gap. Because the people who, regardless of what the problem is, whether it's to want to lose weight or become more flexible, something like that, we think we know what we need to do, right? But very often
mm,
it's because we don't do it. So there's a gap. The gap is what's in here, what goes on in here. That's going to
mm.
determine whether you go from knowing what you need to do to actually doing what you need to do and get the results. Wow.
Also, I truly believe you have to do it for the right reasons. When you start to go into your growth, you have to say, I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this for my relationship. I'm not doing this to please my boss. I'm not doing this to please anyone else but yourself. And when you start to identify this is for me. And it's important to take even those few moments to breathe for yourself. Many people never pause to stop and breathe. So they're just a rolling ball. And that's what their life feels like. I'm a rolling ball. And they just never pause and look where I'm at. They say stop and smell the roses. Pause the ball of life and just breathe. And
Yeah.
again, look, my hands even move like Tai Chi when I say it. It's the moving ball of breath and life and thought that all go together. And as when the word you were looking for is congruent, when it all
Yes.
comes together congruently, all of a sudden your body lights up, your mind lights up, and everything feels good. You don't
Yes.
have to ask yourself, do I want to exercise today? You do it because your body is begging you to, because
Exactly.
it's food for you, it's fuel
Yeah.
instead of drudgery or, oh my goodness, I have to walk 10 miles. It's about dealing with where are you today? Because some days I don't feel like exercising. But those days, I will still talk myself onto the treadmill because I'll say there's always something that you can do. Maybe I don't want to lift weights. Maybe I don't want to do Pilates that day, but I can certainly walk.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. And it becomes just what you do, what you're about now. That's, once you make the decision, like you say inside, I'm doing this for me, and you get the right why, you naturally do it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to talk yourself into doing it. It's when you're
Mm-hmm.
doing it for the wrong reasons, it's like
Mm-hmm.
you have to make yourself do it. It's the same, it's a very similar thing with setting goals. Like, I share with my clients, if you set the right goal, and it's not, people talk about, setting a big, scary goal and things like that. That's fine. But that's the one that you'll need to motivate yourself to move towards. If you set the right goal, which is something that you feel naturally led to do because it's what's coming from within you, it's stirring your soul and you have to get it out, then you do it naturally. You don't have to talk yourself into doing it. You don't have to make yourself doing it. You become naturally motivated. So, wow. Thank you for sharing that.
One of the meditations that I use with people is I am in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing for the right reasons with the right people, and
Wow.
everything is perfect. So when you start to break it down for the right reason at the right time with the right people for the right reasons, you don't have any excuses. You're right where you're supposed to be. So if you're in your wellness class and you're there with the people that you like and everyone is feeling connected, all of a sudden, all of that just comes together and it's not a have to be, it's a want to be. And
Mm,
when that kind of exercise becomes a want to be, you're halfway there.
yes. That's powerful. Powerful. Wow. I can see why or how you've grown into this and why you call the program Grow, because it really is a process of, literally growing out of that old paradigm, the old approaches, and literally letting yourself grow and blossom into becoming who you really are and expressing that self. Wow, I love that. So, is there anything else you'd like to share with us that I may not have asked or that you'd like us
well,
to know?
well, there's a story I'm going to tell you because I'm
Okay.
a storyteller by heart. That's it. That's just me. That's what I do.
I love it. I
What
get
I
to learn.
what I what I'm dealing with today is change. Something in my life is changing, and I don't want it to change.
Okay.
So one of my very favorite cartoons, it's a religious cartoon, and it's a little girl and she has a teddy bear, and God is reaching out and asking the little girl to hand him the teddy bear. And she's holding on to the teddy bear for dear life. And
Mm.
when you look at the cartoon, in one hand, God is extending his hand forward, but behind his back, he has a bigger teddy bear. So he's asking her, give me that little teddy bear because I have something bigger
Mm.
for you. And so often in life, we hold on to that little teddy bear because that's where we feel safe. And I struggled with it yesterday. How am I going to accept this change? This change is going to hurt me. It's going to, all of the reasons and whys. And, I want to cry and go out of my mind. And then I paused And I remembered that picture. And the universe, God, has never let me down. I'm here, purposefully, here, doing what I want to do with the people that I want to do it with at the right time in my life, and everything is perfect. And finding those words to put into those problems has helped me find my flow. And I love acronyms. My acronym for flow is faith, love, optimism, and wisdom. I have to dig deep here and find the faith within myself that, like I said, God has always given me a bigger teddy bear. So why am I sitting here struggling, trying to hold onto that little teddy bear just because it's comfortable in my arms?
Yes.
The L in flow is love. I love what I do. And when you love deeply, you can't help but win. So I have to know that because I love so deeply, sharing, nothing makes me feel better than when I see somebody at the end of their session and they have that look on their face where they're in their body at peace and they smile at me and they don't have to say a word. And my heart grows every single time. The O in flow is optimism. We have to be optimistic. We can't let that negative side of us that's always trying to pull us down. We have to remember there's another side to everything. So use the other side to pull you up. Be optimistic. Someone said to me, "Oh, I'm so tired of positive thinking." People tell me, "How am I going to be positive all the time?" And they think that I said, "I'm not always positive, but I'm always positively thinking," which is different. Even though things may happen, I have trials and tribulations just like anyone else, I approach them with optimism, which changes everything. And
Yes.
the last and my very favorite piece is the wisdom piece. What have I learned so far that tells me that this is going to be okay and even be better? Pulling on that wisdom within you that you know you've been through a lot of stuff, but you're here. You may not be perfectly here. You may have healing to do, but when you say, "I'm going to be faithful, that what I'm going to do is going to work. I'm going to love every minute of the process. I'm going to think positively because that's all that there is." Life may not be positive all the time, but if I think that way, it'll shift me in that direction. And then always fall back onto your wisdom because you know that's the thing with people. You know exactly what is wrong, and you really know exactly what you need to do. You're just not willing or ready to do it.
Yeah.
So use your wisdom and say, if I want my life to grow and develop and be better, I've got to start with the roots and flow to the top.
Wow. Wow.
And that's what I'm telling myself today.
Move through that period of not being ready to let go of
Oh,
something, of
yeah.
change, not wanting to change. Wow. Someone just shared the teddy bear analogy is amazing. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, thank you.
It's beautiful. And I love that. I love acronyms as well. And I love that acronym for flow. It really, these are the things that really always helps to put things in perspective and what will keep us being present and not go into fear, you know. So, wow. Oh, this is beautiful. So, how can people get in touch with you, my friend?
Well,
To reach
I'm
out
really
to you.
easy to find.
Okay.
Grow, Grow with Carl.com.
Grow.
Or you can call me 808 664 6670. I answer my phone. Now, not always, because sometimes they're telemarketers. So if I don't answer, leave a message and I guarantee you we'll have a conversation. If you just want to talk about flow, if you just want to tell me your story, I am open because that's how I grow. I grow when you grow. So,
Wow. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, I'm going to add this in the text in the Facebook group. just in
Mhm.
case contact information so that people looking
Mhm.
on, they can still reach you, or some people listening right now, they may not be able to jot it down. I'm still learning how to navigate this, so I'm not going to even attempt to put anything in the chat. You all know where to find it. You're going to find it in the text wherever this video is going to be available for you to see. So, Carl, my friend, thank you so much for being here, for your presence, for sharing your wonderful wisdom. I know I'm taking away something that I'm going to try to implement in my life to help me grow. Thank you all so much for watching, and join me again next Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, next Friday, I will be in the group because I will not be having a guest. So you'll have to join the group if you want to watch the live or have access to that one later on. So thanks again for being here. When you watch
Thank you for
this,
having me.
you're welcome. It was my pleasure. And when you watch this, I'm speaking to the guest, the audience. When you watch this later on, please, if you have any aha moments, there was anything you like, you found what something that Carl shared helpful or touch you in some way, you're getting lots of thanks, Carl. Amazing session. Thanks, Carl. Thanks,
Oh,
thanks,
thank you.
thanks, thanks. Wow. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, do hashtag replay and leave your comments or ask your questions. I will go back and revisit later, and I promise I will respond to every comment. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend, and see you next Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye bye. Thanks again, Carl. Love this.
Thank you.